Hello, everybody. So today we are going to be looking at the Finland slash. Well, another word to say is Finnish mythology, and my name is Quinlan-Nickerson. And to start off, here are just like some pictures of Finland. We got the flag here, the picture of the Kelava, and then just some other stuff going on here. Nice. So let's start with the introduction slash background of Finnish mythology. So, for a quick background, before the world existed, there was only air and endless water. No land, no sun, no moon. Imitar, the daughter of the air, drifted alone across the Sea of Ages. Kalevala, which is sort of like the introduction book into Finnish mythology. It's a book that really just kind of introduces you to like what the mythology is about and like a little bit about like the characters. And we're gonna get into the characters next. So we have very important characters here, Imitar and Ukko. And Ukko is kind of like the Zeus of Finnish mythology, and Imitar is basically like the Gaia of Finnish mythology. And boom, yep, we got a whole bunch more characters. Like the Poseidon over here, Adi, which is like the god of the sea. We got his wife over here, Velamo, which is the goddess of the lakes. We got like Tuoni, and then Tuon Edar. Yeah, a lot of these names are very hard to pronounce. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm trying my best here. But yeah, they're basically just like the Hades of Finnish mythology. Next we got like the kind of like the beginning of the myth and like the meanings of everything. So one important thing to note about Finnish mythology is basically it kind of started with the crack of an egg. So basically the world was created from a bird's egg. When Amritar moved, the egg fell and broke, and its pieces formed the earth, sky. That's why I have this picture up here. The egg cracking is kind of the start of everything. And if we look right here, like Amritar, nature's creative feminine force, and then the bird's egg, cosmic birth, the birth of everything, and then like Vena, I don't even know how to pronounce that, but basically he's like the voice of the creation. Like he kind of helped in like the creation of it. Nice. And now we got sort of the transformation. Chaos turns into creation. So obviously, sort of like in Greek mythology, you have chaos, and then that turns into Gaia, right? Uranus, and then like all that stuff. And basically, we got chaos in Finnish mythology, which is just it's nothing but air and then the swamp. No land, no sky, no light. World is silent. It's dark and empty. Then we got Imitar, the daughter of air, floated alone through the sea. She felt lonely and restless, surrounded by only waves and wind. And then, as time starts to pass for centuries with no change or form, only chaos and stillness remain. The wind and sea come together, and Imitar becomes pregnant. As I said before, the egg falls and breaks. The world now begins to form. And obviously, we have some symbols here. The bottom of the shells is the earth, top of the shell, sky, and the silk of the egg is the sun. The egg white is the moon, and the specks on the egg is the stars. Life is created, the world goes from chaos to life. Okay, now we got kind of like the themes of Finnish mythology. Obviously, the main one, the cosmic egg motif, which is basically like the creation of Finnish mythology. The egg symbolizes the birth of the universe, order emerges from chaos, and obviously we got a nice picture here. And then we got like connection to other cultures, which is another theme, which is what this picture represents. It's sort of like it's similar to world egg or mother goddess. Themes appear in Hindu, Chinese, and Egyptian myths. So and then obviously we have the creation from nature, the world forms peacefully from natural elements, air, water, and light, showing harmony between all things. The transformation, which I kind of talked about in this slide. Their goddess archetype, which is she represents creation, nurturing, feminine power, all that stuff. Nice. So now let's move on to cultural meaning. We got oral tradition, which is like common in just about every single culture. The point of Greek mythology, or just Finnish mythology, or Roman mythology, is to tell the stories, and the stories is what make. And then for centuries, like myths, they're obviously passed down in Finland, like endless entertainment, history, and culture. We obviously have the modern importance. Today, Finland's strong bond with nature and cultural identity continues modern pagan and neo folk movements, often to reconnect with ancient beliefs. And then the spiritual connection part of it. Spiritual connection. It reflects a belief that everything in nature has a soul or spirit known as Vaki, a life force that flows through all living beings. And this is what the Vaki is right here. This is nice. Now we have the analysis slash comparison to other cultures. And for analysis, we obviously have the world is created. It's just kind of talking about how Finnish culture was created. We already know this stuff. We have the comparison, similar. Oh yeah, so this is how it's different and similar to other myths. So for example, it's similar in a Hindu myth. as life begins from a cosmic egg, symbolizing the universe's birth. And then it's different in Greek mythology, as Gaia and Uranus is what started everything. It wasn't from an egg. It went from chaos to Gaia and Uranus. It's similar to, it's also similar in Chinese myth, as the world forms from an egg. So, and then how is it relevant in today's world? Obviously, environmental connection, respect for nature, spiritual renewal, feminine power and creation, culture, identity, and heritage, global connection, all this stuff. I feel like one of my favorite things about the Finnish mythology is how it really talks about nature and how nature is very important in everyday life, and I really agree with that. And then obviously here we have our citations. We have like obviously parallel myths. We all know about this, the Kalevala. This is where I found like a lot of the information, and obviously in parallel myths. And we got these ones. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but yeah.